It's finally over, folks. This article is from Bounding Into Comics, dated April 29th, 2022. After collapsing ratings and a failed fan campaign, the CW scraps woke Batwoman show. The CW finally scrapped their woke Batwoman show after the show's ratings and viewership consistently declined. It's about bloody time, and it only took 3 seasons. But just a brief recap. You remember Batwoman? That show that gave us such gloriously cringe-inducing lines like,
I need you to fix his suit.
The suit is literal perfection.
It will be. When it fits a woman.
and
I'm not about to let a man take credit for a woman's work.
despite being reviled by audiences and receiving enormous criticism from comic book fans, this dreadfully poor quality series, with horrendous writing and acting and double facepalm-inducing wokeness, has somehow managed to remain on the air. Part of me feels that the show was kept on the air for 3 seasons just to spite the show's detractors, just to piss people off. Obviously, it receives heaps of praise and love from woke mainstream critics who wouldn't dare speak ill of a show about a lesbian superhero and a diversity-filled cast, because that's all you need, right? Forget about the stories and quality of writing. As long as it ticks all of the intersectional boxes and everything else, that's all you need. And they certainly wouldn't talk ill of a main character who is literally overthrowing the patriarchy by usurping her male predecessor. But audiences are obviously more honest, as demonstrated by the disparity in Rotten Tomatoes ratings. Nevertheless, there's almost something kind of admirable about a show that just shamelessly soldiers on and plows through the audience disapproval and stays true to its objective of being breathtakingly shite. The persistence is almost worthy of some kind of admiration, I suppose. No, almost. You know, preserving with a tried and obviously flawed and unpopular formula means at least they're consistent, right? But the show's ratings have been in the toilet for quite a while now. So what exactly was keeping this show on the air? Is it some kind of tax write-off or something? Is it a dare? Is it meant to be a loss leader? Is this a troll TV series? I mean, they must have known what kind of reaction that lines like this were going to get.
The suit is literal perfection.
It will be. When it fits a woman. I'm not about to let a man take credit for a woman's work.
Are we being trolled here? And therefore, by complaining about the show, are we doing exactly what they want us to do? Is it essentially a not-so-obvious parody series? Is it made to simply curry favour with the woke mainstream establishment and buy some brownie points with the lefty lovies? There is certainly something to consider here. The vast majority of organic attention that this show seems to get is from social media audiences and YouTube content creators criticizing it in their videos. It gets scorn, derision, and ridicule from lots of independent YouTubers. And then, of course, you can get mainstream media publications running defense for the show and labeling its detractors as toxic, bigoted trolls, etc.
The city needs a hero. It needs a Batwoman.
Look at all that virtue signaling from the Season 2 trailer, by the way. Gotta love those LGBT bat signs in there. Time to be powerful? Like the Critical Drinker said some time ago in his video about this, simply claiming to be strong and powerful doesn't actually make it so. This kind of forced female empowerment messaging doesn't feel in any way earned. It was the same with the previous Batwoman, Kate Kane. It's this idea that the hero doesn't have to learn anything, or go through any kind of coming-of-age process, or have any real origin story of their own. They can just be a superhero by throwing on the suit of an actual male superhero who's gone through all of that development and somehow inherit their mantle and capabilities. It was similar with Captain Marvel, the idea that the protagonist is already amazing and incredibly tough and heroic. She just needs the system and men to get out of her way in order to flourish. Pure feminist nonsense. Anyway, all the while this Batwoman series is receiving, well, undeserved amounts of exposure through negative publicity on social media. I guess some publicity is better than nothing, right? At least we're still talking about it because it's really bad. A cynical part of me wonders if that wasn't part of the plan all along. I mean, maybe it was, maybe it wasn't, but it's just hard to imagine this show being any worse than it actually was. Was it supposed to be this bad? I mean, you gotta wonder. And were we, as pop culture commentators, simply falling for this and feeding into this strategy by giving it so much attention and focus? Well, regardless, this pure woke dumpster fire cringe fest is finally over. Batwoman, a show that should never have been made, that should never have seen the light of day, is at last a thing of the past.